Hi Year 1, welcome to Geography. Today we're going to be doing a craft together, a little bit of a crafternoon. I hope you just watched the picture book Me on the Map by Joan Sweeney. That shows you how when you're trying to find you on the map and you're thinking about where you are right now or where you live on planet Earth, we kind of start big picture and we get smaller, 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 more detailed until we find you. So we start with you live in the world. You live on planet Earth. That's pretty big picture. There are lots of people on planet Earth. If I was trying to find you, the description that you live on planet Earth, pretty vague. I might not quite find you with that one. So we get a little bit more specific. We say you live in Australia, the continent or country that you live in. Then we get a little bit more specific and we say what state you live in. You live in New South Wales. We all live in New South Wales. Then we get a little bit more specific, a little bit smaller, and we say what city you live in or region. We live in the Illawarra, or we live in Wollongong. Then we get a little bit more smaller and we say what suburb we live in. Mrs. Tupman lives in Mount Eardsley. You live in Dapto, Berkeley, Cordo Heights, Corrimal, Berry Meadow. I don't know. You'll have to answer that for me. Then we get a little bit smaller again and we say what your street name is. So Mrs. Topman's street name is Greenslopes Avenue. You might live on an avenue or you might live on a street. You might live on a parkway. I know Thomas does. You may live on a lane. They're all different types of streets. And finally, you get the most specific of all, and you tell me exactly what number your house is on that street. So we start really big, but each instruction, we kind of zoom in, get more specific as to exactly where the pinpoint of you is on the map. On Monday in geography, you typed in Google Earth your address and you saw on Google Earth they start big picture out in the world, don't they? And then it kind of zooms in and takes you to the very pinpointed spot that you are on planet Earth. Today's craft is going to also show where you are on planet Earth. So you will need scissors, you will need paper. Coloured paper is best, but if you don't have coloured paper, you can certainly use white paper and maybe just do extra effort at colouring in and decorating it and making it pretty at the end. You will need a black texter. If you don't have a black texter, a pencil or a pen, anything to write with is fine. And you will need a stapler or a glue stick for connecting your craft together at the end. Alrighty, let's get started. Mrs. Topman's also got paper plates. If you happen to be at home with paper plates, you can use them, but if you're at school, you don't need paper plates. Children at school, you can tell who's the teacher on Thursday. Is it the lovely Mrs. David? Mrs. Middleton? No, I can't remember. You can tell your lovely teacher, whoever it may be, that there is coloured paper across in Mrs. Topman's classroom. In the very back shelves underneath the sinks, if you open the doors, there's like trays with the different coloured pieces of paper. So you can go and grab that. All right. We need how many pieces of paper? Well, we're going to start with the world. 1. Then we're going to go country. 2. State. 3. City. 4. Suburb. 5. Street. 6. Number on the street. 7. You will need 7 different pieces of coloured paper, so different colours, or we can just make 7 pieces of 7 circles out of white paper too. All right, we are going to cut out 7 circles, starting with a big circle. Each circle will be a little bit smaller than the last one. I was just closing the door before it slammed from the wind. Circle number 1. It's going to be your biggest circle of all. Can you please cut out a big circle about the size of your head or an adult's head, Mrs. Topman's head. I'm going to use a paper plate. If you're at home, this is going to be the base. You might like to use a paper plate too. If you've got one at school, just cut out a circle about the size of a paper plate. All right, pause this video and do that now. All right, on that paper plate or that piece of paper, you are going to write planet Earth, because that is telling us what planet you live on. You don't live on Mars. You don't live on the sun. It's too hot, silly. You live on Earth. Our world is called Earth. Can you please pause the video so you can copy the spelling and write planet Earth? Alrighty, next you're going to change colour if you've got coloured paper. You're going to cut out a circle just a little bit smaller than the last circle. So I might line it up like this. Ooh, I have an idea. I could line it up like this, and then maybe I could draw with a pencil a rough circle just a little bit smaller. Now I'm going to cut on the line. All right, pause the video and cut out your second circle. Topman's was maybe a bit too small. A bit bigger would have been okay. We only want to get a little bit smaller each time. Probably not that much smaller, but that's okay. All right, we have planet Earth. Hopefully you wrote that down the bottom of your plate so that as we stack the layers, you'll be able to see the writing from each layer. Let's zoom in a bit from planet Earth. You live in the continent or the country Australia. Australia is both a continent and a country. So can you please write Australia at the bottom of that circle? I haven't connected these yet. I'm just holding it, Australia. Yeah, mine was way too small because we're actually going to connect them at the top there. So your circle can be a bit bigger, that's okay. Australia. All right, next, change colour. If you've got colours, otherwise just cut another smaller circle on our white paper. You're going to cut another circle which is a little bit smaller than the Australia circle. Not too much smaller. Remember, you can always pause the video. All right. On this one down the bottom, you are going to write the state we live in. Do you remember the name of the state we live in? New South Wales. Or short, you can write NSW. All right, pause the video and write New South Wales. You can pause it there to copy the spelling. Does it look like that? Again, my Australia should have been bigger because now I've got a big bit of white space, but that's okay. Craft is all about having fun and giving it our best go. All right, now I'm going to get a little bit more specific. In New South Wales is a very big place. If I just said I live in New South Wales, it would take you a long time to find me. So we're going to say what city or town in New South Wales we live in, and that is Wollongong or the Illawarra. So get a new piece of coloured paper, different piece, and make a circle, cut out a circle just a little bit smaller. And on that one, we are going to write Wollongong. pause the video there, copy the spelling if you need to. All right, change coloured paper. Cut out another circle just a little bit smaller than the Wollongong one. So each circle we're getting a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. All right, on my blue circle now, I know what city I live in. What instruction could I give to be more specific? Where in that city do I live? What suburb I live in? If you cut a city or a region up into sections, there's all different suburbs. Mrs. Topman lives in Mount Ousley. You can ask Mum or Dad if you don't know what suburb you live in. You can pause the video, go ask them, or if you're at school, your teacher could look it up on sector if you're a bit unsure. But it might be Dapto, Shellharbour, Kiama, Berkeley, Corrimal, Wollongong, Thurrool. There's some ideas of suburbs. Pause the video and go and do that. Don't copy mine if you don't live in Mount Ousley, because this is saying where I live. Two more circles. All right, change colour. I'm going to use orange this time. Cut out a circle a bit smaller. What street do you live on? What's the name of your street? Write it at the bottom of that circle. You might need to do small writing this time. Again, if you don't know what street you live on, pause the video, go ask Mummy or Daddy. At school, a teacher can look it up for you in sector. Write your street name. It might need to be curvy writing at the bottom. Last circle, the smallest circle of all, probably about, if you join your fingers together, about an eye or a mouth size. The smallest circle to go right on top. And that circle is going to say what number you live on at that street. So for me, I'm writing my number. And then I want you to draw on that circle a little stick person and write me. Mrs. Tupman should wear a dress. And have long hair, eyes. There we go. Because that's your top layer. So we want to see you because we found you on the map. We've started big, planet Earth, gotten smaller, Australia, New South Wales, Wollongong, Mount Ousley, Queensland Avenue, and that's where you find me on a map. Now to put your pieces together, all the pieces need to be overlapping right at the top. So the green, push it right to the top, red, push it right to the top, blue, push it right to the top, push them all to the top so that there's a part at the top because we want them to be able to flap open like this. Grab a stapler. A stapler will be the easiest for this, but if you don't have a stapler, you can use glue. And right at the top of the page, we're going to do one staple. Ready? I don't know about you, but that was really loud. Oh, it didn't even work. I don't have any staples in that stapler. Let's try another one. Imagine that I stapled one staple, boom, right at the top. If you've got one of those split pins, you could also put that through. You could use a clip. Let's use a clip for me. Bulldog clip. Oh no, it fell. I'm not going to show you for a second and I'm just going to, goodbye, go down here and fix up my disaster of a craft. All right. I'm going to use a clip. So you can use anything really to connect all your layers at the top. Now, these will flip open. What I want you to do now is we're going to finish the video and I'm going to give you some drawing time. I'm looking forward to seeing photos of these on Seesaw so I can give you a little comment and go, wow, that's amazing. So I wanted to see everyone's. But just like a flip book, you're going to flip up each of the layers and draw. So, planet Earth is the first layer. You're going to flip them all up and you're going to draw a picture of planet Earth here. So I draw a circle, try and draw some blue for the water, some green for some different countries and land masses. All right, next layer. Australia. We've been practicing drawing a map of Australia. That's exactly what you're going to do here. Try and remember how to draw the map of Australia. Don't forget Tasmania, the island, down the bottom. New South Wales. Just kind of looks a bit like a rectangle or a square, really. New South Wales. If you're at home, you could get Google Earth and you could look up these different layers, type them in and see what they really look like and try to copy a map. Or you could use an atlas. An atlas is like a book of maps. Wollongong, we drew the Illawarra, remember, on my big whiteboard the other day. So draw the mountains on one side, the sea on the other, a strip of land down the middle with Lake Illawarra down the bottom. Mount Ousley, have a think of your suburb. Are there lots of trees? Is there a park? Is there some shops? Is there a Coles? Is there a lake? Is it near the beach? Think of what it looks like near your house and maybe draw a feature of your suburb. So for me, I can see the mountains, so I would draw some mountains because I live on Mount Ousley. If you live in Berkeley and you see the lake, you can draw Lake Illawarra. If you live in Bulli and you see the beach, maybe draw some palm trees, some dolphins in the ocean. Greenslopes Avenue is my street, so I'm going to draw a street, 2 lines with a dash in the middle. And maybe I'll even draw my house or some houses on that street. And then me, a picture of me on the very top layer. I can't wait to see your craft. I love craft. I hope you had fun with me doing this geography craft today, Year 1. Good luck!